why is that you're not a Nazi? You're white and you live well, and you're doing well, you live in Beverly Hills.
I love black people.
Why is it that you don't love black people?
I do love black people. I love them, and I love
black
you.
People. There are Mexicans who think they're better than whites and blacks. Are they Mexican supremacists? So are black people black supremacists?
Anytime any group of people complains about any other group of people, I think that they're basically Nazis.
In this video, we are going to watch one of the greatest trolls to ever grace the internet in the form of Jesse Lee Peterson.
This KISS camera zoomed in on them, and the weak, pathetic, pitiful excuse of a man, Obama, reached over and kissed Big Mama.
Take on leftist, socialist, pansexual, Malibu Boys streamer, Vaush. And this one is very, very revealing. So with that, let's get into it.
I want to ask you about this video. You made a video that destroys.
Right, yeah, it destroys, yeah. You know how the YouTube game goes.
Destroys black conservatives.
Yeah, I love that video. We got real mad.
Explain that to me.
Yeah, so I believe in, have you ever read Karl Marx?
No.
I believe in something called class interest. I think that society and democracy work best when we're repping our own interests. So you're a man, I'm a man, we want to fight for men, you know? I'm white, you're black, we want to fight for black and white. Well, you know, we want to fight for our own interests. I think
No, I fight for what is right.
Do you think it's right for black people and white people to be equal?
Right. Huh?
Do you think it's right for black and white people to be equal in like an ideal society?
I don't know, you guys, when you say equal.
Same legal rights.
You cannot make a person equal. Only God can do that, and He did that when He created us all, and that He created us in His image, and no human being can make you equal to anybody or anything else.
Fair, not on an individual level. Do you think that black and white people should have equal legal rights, equal access to education, healthcare, that sort of thing?
We have that.
Oh, well then I'm glad we agree. That's the right thing, huh? There are a lot of black conservatives who I think don't vote in their class interests. For example, being a fan of Trump, I don't know about that one. That seems like some propaganda.
So you think that blacks who support the Great White Hope should not support him for what reason?
I think that a lot of them are mistaken, yeah. I don't think they meaningfully represent his interests.
Whose interests?
Their interests as black people.
And what are their interests that they should not vote for the Great White Hope?
Well, right now in America, the average wealth of a black person is somewhere in the ballpark of 1/10 the average wealth of a white person.
And why is that?
Probably redlining generational inequality, the fact that they were second-class citizens up until the 1960s, wide variety of factors.
Would that be the case if black people got married, worked for themselves, took over their own lives, raised their children, invest their monies, and did the same thing that white people are doing? Would they still be whatever?
Probably wouldn't hurt.
So why not encourage them to do it the way the white people are doing it?
They do.
Rather than giving them something free like that or telling them that they're victims.
They just
why
face a lot
not tell them the right, if white people are doing it a certain way, working, getting married, raising their children, seeing to it that they get a good education. If that worked for white people, why not recommend that for black people?
Because white people had the benefit. Instead of using this lie about racism and slavery and all that crap. Do you think slavery was a lie?
It's not affecting black people at all today. It's a made-up lie that is keeping blacks back.
Have you ever seen anybody that is as smug and condescending as Vaush? He just reeks of a man who spends his time talking about his passion, which is the plight of poor people, whilst streaming from his gated community in Malibu. But do you know what the funny part about this is? And it should come as no surprise to you. He actually is a rich boy. He grew up in an upper-class family in Beverly Hills, and he's probably never met an underprivileged person in his life, and certainly would not last 5 seconds in one of these neighborhoods. Yet he postulates on behalf of these people. And a guy like Vaush will argue for the socialist revolution until his chubby face goes blue and until his man bun becomes discombobulated. But if that ever were to happen, and the cannibalism were to start, it would only be a matter of minutes before he would have an apple in his mouth and would be being slowly charred on the spit roast. And Vaush also describes himself as pansexual, which is by far my least favorite of the made-up words. They describe this as just being attracted to people, not gender, just being attracted to people's souls and personalities, and it is the most ridiculously cringe-worthy way of virtue signaling. If you like both sexes, then you are bisexual. But these idiots want to act like they have transcended human superficiality, like they have reached a new spiritual realm, a higher mode of being that transcends physical reality. Only females and socialists can say that sort of bullshit and get away with it. But I do love Jesse Lee Peterson, and him calling Trump the Great White Hope never gets old on me. I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed over the years watching Jesse Lee Peterson call Donald Trump the Great White Hope to people in street interviews and to people in studio interviews, and just watching them malfunction.
What do you think of the Great White Hope?
What's that?
President Trump.
We're gonna have to give you another award for that.
So you don't think that black conservatives should vote for Donald Trump?
Nah.
You don't think that?
I don't think anyone should.
You don't think
especially
that
not
black
conservatives.
conservatives should have their own minds to do what they want?
Oh no, they should be able to do what
Do
they
you
want.
think they should vote like the radical blacks who are voting for Democrats?
Absolutely.
So you don't think that black people, black conservatives, have the right to be individuals?
Oh no, they have the right, and I have the right to disagree.
And think and do for themselves.
Oh, they can totally do what they want. I have the right to complain about it.
So why are you
Free
putting
country.
them down for standing and being individuals?
It's not so much that I'm doing it for them being individuals. I'm putting them down for making bad decisions.
So you're saying blacks don't have the common sense to make good decisions for themselves?
Guys, if you're enjoying this clip and if you get value from this, make sure to chuck a thumbs up on the video, subscribe to the channel, and also, if there's more clips that you guys want to see me break down, then you can always leave a recommendation. I do enjoy reading the comments. Back to the clips.
A lot of people don't. I don't like
How about the black
whites who,
conservatives? They don't have the common sense to make decisions for themselves?
I would say that being a black conservative pretty much like categorically means you don't have much common sense, yeah.
To make decisions for themselves?
Yeah, at least politically.
And that's why you call Candace Owens a Nazi?
Oh yeah. Oh, I love calling Candace Owens a Nazi. She's pretty, isn't she?
Because she's black, she doesn't have sense enough to think and do for herself?
Oh no, I call plenty of whites Nazis too, don't worry.
But Candace Owens is a conservative, and you just said conservative blacks don't have the common sense to think and do for themselves. So that's why you call Candace Owens a Nazi?
I think that a black Nazi probably is lacking some sense of self-preservation, but I call lots of folks Nazis, and I would say all conservatives probably lack in common sense. So don't worry, I ubiquitously distribute my dislike of conservatives.
And what
blacks,
is,
whites.
in Candace Owens' situation, what is it about her that caused you to call her a Nazi?
That defending Hitler stuff was pretty out of left field, let me tell you. Because she said everything Hitler did within his own borders was fine. It was when he had ambitions abroad, that when the trouble started.
And
but
why is she a Nazi for agreeing with that? I was saying that. I didn't hear her say it, but why is she a Nazi for having her own opinion?
Oh, I mean, the Nazis did have their own opinions too.
But why is she one, as a black conservative, why is she one for having her own opinion?
I think that white Nazis are also bad.
I'm talking about Candace Owens now.
Oh, that she has every right to express her opinion. I have every right to call her very mean names for expressing those opinions.
Do you hate black conservatives?
I hate conservatives. Do I hate black conservatives?
How about black ones?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I do love all people, but I hate black conservatives and white conservatives.
Why do you hate black conservatives?
I hate all conservatives, but black conservatives, because they have the gall of being conservative while having experienced more apropos than any other group in this country what it means to be under the heel of a white supremacist state. It seems to me they're the ones who should have the greatest interest in voting against it.
So it never takes too long for these people to reveal their true colors, but I always do find it fascinating when it does happen. And this was such an interesting little mask-off moment here. I don't even know if Vaush realizes how prophetic what he just said was. I love all people, but I hate all conservatives. All while openly stating his disdain for blacks, who choose not to side with the welfare state dependency victim mindset. And I know he thinks he's funny, but he's doing a great job here of confirming all of the stereotypes about upper-class white liberals that people have. And Jesse really is the man for the job when it comes to exposing this sort of thing. Furthermore, Vaucher's contempt for other human beings is radiating from him during this interview. And he's demonstrating the clear and obvious fact that that is precisely what he is motivated by. And this is not unusual for individuals who go down the Marxist or even the SJW sort of path. He doesn't care about underprivileged people or social justice or equality or any of these things that he claims to care about. And he doesn't love black people like he keeps saying, which is creepy in itself.
I love black people.
He just hates conservatives, most likely for some deep-seated sort of personal reason, and he just projects this. Very interesting to observe.
Are you white?
I am.
Are you Jewish?
I am not Jewish.
But you're
I've
white.
been told I'm Jewish.
And so are you a Nazi?
I am not a Nazi.
And what made you not? Why is it that you're not a Nazi? You're white and you live well, and you're doing well, you live in Beverly Hills.
I love black people.
Why is
so.
it that you're not? You don't love black people?
I do love black people. I love them,
You
and I
hate
love
black
you.
people.
I love black
No.
people. Why would I hate black people?
Because you recommend the worst for them instead of the good.
But we agree.
But let me
We
ask
should
you, why
encourage
is it
them.
that you're not a Nazi?
Well, I grew up with parents who were pretty liberal, so maybe if I'd grown up with Nazi parents, I could have been a Nazi. Also, I grew up in a very Jewish neighborhood.
And tell me again, what is a Nazi?
I would say a white supremacist who believes that the Jewish people are orchestrating a conspiracy to destroy white people.
And what is a white supremacist?
Somebody who believes either that white people are superior than other races, or that they should orchestrate some kind of society that prioritizes white people as like an in-group preference kind
So
of thing.
Louis Farrakhan believed that blacks are superior to whites.
Yeah, I hate that guy.
And that he wanted a state with just blacks only. And there are other black people who feel that way too. Are they black supremacists?
Oh yeah, no, I don't like those people at all.
They're no different than a white person who think that way?
They're pretty much in the same ballpark, yeah.
There are Mexicans who feel that way too, about that they are better than any other race.
I've never met a Mexican supremacist.
But there are Mexicans who think they're better than whites and blacks. Are they Mexican supremacists?
I admit, I've never met them. They probably do exist, though. Yeah, they'd be Mexican supremacists.
And
I hate those guys, too.
This idea of men and women who are in the fallen state believe that they're better than the other person. So anyone who feels that way is a supremacist, right?
No, it has to be a categorical racial thing. Like, for instance, someone
Why does it have to be a categorical racist thing?
Well, there are some people, like, for example, my girlfriend in the audience probably likes me more than you just because I live with her, right? But she doesn't believe that I was endowed at birth because I'm white with a higher intellectual capacity.
I bet she believes she's better than you.
Maybe.
Is that supremacist?
No, because it's not a racial sort of construct that she's expressing that supremacy for.
So it have to be.
I think I'm taller than
what do
her.
you mean by it has to be a racial thing? It mean that any race that feel that they are superior to another race?
Yeah, I don't like it when people
Louis
feel.
Farrakhan and Jeremiah Wright Jr. and all those people who hate the Jews and hate the whites, are they black supremacists?
Yeah, they're basically black Nazis. I mean, they've gone right around the other side. But
And are they black supremacists?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't like those people.
I'm sorry?
I don't like those people at all because I love black people and I think that they harm black people.
That they harm black people?
Yeah.
In what way?
I think that a lot of people, when they want to think of radical black activism, I want to think of stuff like Black Lives Matter or institutional reform to the prison system. But when they do their reform, Louis Farrakhan and what have you, they make people think that black radical reformists are like crazy black supremacists, like Wakandaites. And that's not what I'm here for. That's
Do
not
black
progress.
people have the right to complain about white people, what they have done and what they are doing? Do they have the right to complain about white people?
Yeah, free country.
So black people have the right to complain about whites, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what gives them the right to complain about whites?
I mean, I think, freedom of speech. I think they have every right in the world to complain or express their grievances in a way that doesn't harm other people,
And so are they black supremacists for complaining about white people?
Nah, I mean, hey, I complain about women all the time, but I'm not sexist against women.
I bet you're not.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Amazing.
And so black people have the right to complain about white people.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have the right to hate white people?
I don't like it. No, I don't like hating racial groups. Even if you're like I wouldn't support like Jews hating Egyptian people back in the Prince of Egypt days either. I just don't like.
So do black people have the right to hate white people?
They have the right. I don't like it. They have the legal right to. I don't like it.
So black people have the right to hate white people?
Legally, yes. Freedom of speech.
And are they black supremacists for hating and complaining about white people?
I think you can hate somebody without thinking you're better than them. I don't know if I'd call them black supremacists for that.
So are black people black supremacists for hating and complaining about white people?
No, only if they think they're better than white people, like
So,
racially.
and they do think that. So are
Some of them
black
do.
people black supremacists for hating, complaining, and thinking that they're better than white
If
people?
they think they're better than white people, yes, absolutely, they're black supremacists.
Okay.
Yes.
And do they have the right to knock out white people?
Like
Remember the knockout game when
Like
they
get
were
'em?
walking up to black people, knocking them out?
I heard a
killing
lot of-
them?
I heard
do
a lot
they
of-
have a right to do that?
I heard a lot of scared white folk calling about them
Do they
knockout
have a
gangs
right-
on Fox News.
Do they have a right to do that?
You know, that's assault. I'm going to go ahead and say no. Probably
And
not.
are they black supremacists for doing that?
Probably at least a few of them.
You say yes?
Yeah, probably at least a few of them. I don't know if all of them are, but yeah, I'd say a few of them probably.
Okay.
If this even happens. I know Fox News complained about
No,
it
it
when I
does
was
happen.
like a kid.
And so you saying yes, they are black supremacists for knocking out white people, for hating them, for complaining about them, right?
Yeah.
They are black supremacists, right?
I think any time a black person says anything mean about a white person, they're a black supremacist and
Okay.
basically a black Nazi.
And when they physically attack white people, they are black supremacists, right?
Absolutely.
So why is it that white people don't have the right to do the same about the Jews? When white people complain about the Jews, are they?
You can be a white supremacist and hate the Jews.
So when white people complain about whether they're right or wrong, just like the black, are they white supremacists for disagreeing and complaining about the Jews?
It really depends on how they do it. I'll
Are
tell you
they
this. I'll tell you
white
this.
supremacists for complaining, disagreeing, and complaining about the Jews?
I had a lot of.
Are they white supremacists?
No.
I'm sorry?
That was a mixed answer. I grew
I
up
know
with a
you
lot
were-
of. I grew up with a lot of Jewish folk. I complain about them from time to time because some of them were real annoying.
So are white people Jewish supremacists for complaining and disagreeing with the Jews?
Sometimes.
Are white people supremacists for
Scott,
disagreeing?
I have to do the yes or no.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I see. Amazing. I love
Amazing.
it. Amazing. Damn. You know what? Let's go with yes. Anytime any group of people complains about any other group of people, I think that they're basically Nazis. I'm willing to take that road.
So the blacks are Nazis for complaining
Blacks,
and attacking.
whites, Jews, women, men,
So
we're all
blacks are
Nazis.
Nazi, and and black supremacists for complaining about whites, disagreeing with them, knocking them out. They are black Nazi supremacists, right?
Do you love Nazis?
No, I'm asking you, are you saying that they're black Nazi supremacists?
Yes.
Black people are.
All black people. Yes.
That does
Including
that,
you.
That do that.
Yes.
Okay.
You think
and
you're better than
likewise,
them,
you
yes?
think that white people are when they do it to Jews.
Yes.
And when Jews complain about whites and blacks, are they Nazis and Jewish supremacists?
Jewish Nazis, yes.
Are they supremacists?
Yeah, yes, Jewish supremacists, Jewish Nazis.
Okay,
Absolutely.
all right.
If they complain about white people.
Okay, anybody who continually has to say, I love black people, should not be trusted. And he is so visibly uncomfortable by Jesse's line of questioning this whole time. He can't stop fidgeting and squirming. And whilst Jesse is hilarious and he is great at being a troll, he's also a very smart man and he's very good at what he does. He'll just ask a series of questions and then it has this unraveling effect where people have to reveal themselves. They have to reveal the hypocrisy and the inconsistency of their worldview. And this is a particularly good example of that because you'll notice here, Jesse, in a very calculated way, led the conversation from black conservatives to what is a Nazi to black Nazis and to eventually Jewish Nazis. And even though Vaush remains smug and tries to act like he's joking or laughing, either way he gets completely exposed here because either he does a 180 on what he said and shows that he is inconsistent about his ideas of supremacy and about Nazism, or he is logically consistent, which he does, and he arrives at the final destination which Jesse leads him to, which is basically that the vast majority of the world are Nazis, if you go to the logical conclusion of this conversation. And this was really an interesting one to watch because, like I said, Vaush is trying to act like all smug and he's joking and being facetious, but at the end of the day, this is his worldview. He says these things all the time. He always calls people Nazis. And Jesse Lee Peterson is simply pointing out the ridiculousness of that. So I hope you guys enjoyed. And as usual, hit those links in the bio and in the comments. And if you guys want to watch another video, click right here. Until next time, I'm Jake. This is Rattlesnake TV, keeping you armed and dangerous.